Hey there, welcome to the Curie Tonight Show. Tonight we will be talking about contaminated water and we will have some guests here to talk about it. Liam, how's it going?
Good, how are you?
Good. Today we have Liam here with his friend Lorenzo, and I want them to tell us how this issue affects individuals.
Well, you know, this issue is worldwide and it affects individuals in many different ways. One big way that this affects individuals is it holds people back from obtaining education. I know this is kind of cliche, but in Africa, a lot of people spend their time fetching water. And it's mostly a problem for the women. They're the ones that are sent down to fetch the water. But this holds them back from attending school, so they don't get their education. But I think the biggest issue that contaminated water causes is it affects people physically. Thousands of people die every year from water-related diseases that they get from drinking the water. A lot of it comes from diseases such as cholera, which is basically diarrhea. It's pretty awful, right? It's an awful way to go out of the world. But I wanted to introduce my friend here. His name's Lorenzo. And
Lorenzo.
And his family actually have had personal experiences with contaminated water.
Let's hear it.
Well, just talking to my dad when him telling the stories of when he was growing up, they didn't have like running water or, anything like that. So they'd have to go down to the river, which was probably about a mile from his house, and which was sketch to even get down there in the first place. I've seen it, and they'd have to drink the water, and I was like, well, was it clean? He's like, not really. And they boil it and stuff, but that wouldn't get rid of everything. It was still dirty. So. And
can you tell me where your dad was from?
Oh, he's from Mexico. Sorry to mention that. And like when I went a couple years back, people there still don't drink the water. So if that says anything about what countries are going through in terms of water.
Jess, hi. Hi. Can you describe to me some environmental issues causing contaminated water?
Yeah, so poor hygiene and the lack of sanitation in some of these countries is the main cause of mortality and morbidity in the developing areas. I mean, they don't have a lot of funding for certain facilities to grow their sanitation and their healthcare. So a lot of them are honestly unaware of the standards we hold ourselves to when it comes to cleanliness with our water and environments.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
And what studies have been done about this?
There was actually a report about from Water Pollution Worries. It's an article that was in the New York Times, and it discussed how many people die every year from contaminated water and the diseases it leads to. It was 760,000 people annually, and it's like, that's kind of mind-blowing thinking that such a small problem causes so much more of an effect.
That's a lot of people.
Also, the diseases it leads to is another thing that was studied, and it can lead to E. coli, diarrhea, and the amount of people that are suffering through this in third world countries is like 7.3 million. And the fact that they can't do anything to take care of it because they don't have the facilities and the proper healthcare to go to get treated for it.
Of course. Good job. Okay, Mr. Colton, today I want you to describe ways to help people who are affected by contaminated water. I want you to tell me what individuals can do to help.
All right, so individuals, like we've read in our discussions in class and stuff, we read a topic on a tall cup of sewage, and it was saying that basically the individual wouldn't spend even the $10 to a month to help the people with their sewage. And so for me, what I've been thinking is how we can help an individual is just by doing small little foundations and donations to help these people in these countries that don't have access to water like us. And it all starts with just small donations, which we know isn't working as of right now, but we hope it gets better. So.
Good answer. What can businesses do to help?
So businesses, there's a lot of businesses that are helping right now. Like Bank of America is a big one. They were in 2017 and they sent over 7.5 million supplies and just gave them hope of fresh water. And then they also sent over 23,000 hours of volunteer work. And so that was just cleaning up their water and the trash that they have over in those countries.
Good, good. And lastly, what can governments do?
Governments, they, well, out of my research, there hasn't been much in governments. They have been sort of kind of just tag along with with Water for Life and the World Health Organization. They aren't really making laws on how to preserve the water. They're kind of out of the game right now. It's mainly just the companies that come overseas to help them out. So
there you have it, folks. Last guest today is Ben. And Ben, can you tell us what places are most affected?
So I would say Southeast Asia is a really big part that accumulates a lot of trash in their springs and aquifers. They have arsenic issues in some areas like Indonesia, where it not only just affects their spring water, but also affects their crops. So a lot of the crops accumulate a lot of arsenic, which becomes toxic. So I'd say Southeast Asia is a huge issue right now.
Perfect. And to finish, what government policies can be implemented to fix this?
So some of the things I think that could be implemented, similar to the Philippines or in India, they have a clean seas program. So they go and they try to clean a lot of their aquifers or water pollution. It also includes the ocean as well. So India, what they use is they have this machine that pulls out trash. It works through solar power, so it's a really cheap and efficient way. Because if you go to Chicago, there's actually an estimation of $4 billion, and they use a similar machine like they do in India that cleans out the water and can also reduce some of the arsenic levels and pollutants in the water.
Perfect. Thanks for tuning into the Curie Tonight show. Bye-bye.
My name's Ben Chadburn.
My name is Lorenzo Chaitis.
And we'll be talking about contaminated water across the whole world today.
And if you didn't know, contaminated water affects about 3.2 million people every year. And that's like around the world, but locally, like in Flint, Michigan, they've had like problems with their drinking water for like a really long time. And no one really seems to care because you don't see it on the news. So that's cool.
So a lot of this has to do with a lack of resource due to a lack of money or due to poverty. For instance, take for Indonesia, for example, their arsenic levels in their water is above 100 times the normal level. Or if you take places like Africa, some of the accessibility to clean water is really hard for some of those places.
Hi guys, my name is Jessica. Since contaminated water is such an issue globally and locally, today we're going to teach you guys how to make your very own at-home water filter. Okay, so the steps to making your very own water filters, you start with the contaminated water first. This is our beginning product. By taking a 2-liter soda bottle, we're going to cut it and make it our filter to display in there. So you need scissors obviously for that. Then we're going to add cotton balls as our base layer to soak up any absorbent fluids that go through. On top of that, we're going to have sand, and then we're going to add rocks too, so it adds more of an absorbent layer. And then we add charcoal actually, and that's going to help cleanse it, and then we'll have a clean water outcome.
First step, cut the bottle.
And so the second step to this, we are going to stuff about 2 inches of cotton into our little filter. More cotton, please.
Next step, we add 1 inch of this charcoal.
We don't want them. After you put the carbon in, well, after you add in the activated charcoal, you're going to put in about 2 inches of gravel.
You add 3 to 4 inches of sand.
Maybe we should just like pour it in there.
So you just lift up the bag.
Alright. Here we go. I think that's good. That's about 3 inches.
Yeah, that should be good.
And the last step to finishing your filter, you just need to add one more layer of rock into there. Alright. And now you're ready to pour.
Nasty and murky and ew. And here's our filtered water. Nice. I don't know if you can see it that well, but that's all clean and clear. Yay, it's drinkable! Woo!
Go.
Science rules to Bill Nye.